Hello, welcome to Run and Science. Today I'm going to review the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5. Now this is going to be a bittersweet review for me because I've always been a big fan of Saucony in general, back 10-15 years ago with the original Kimbaras. They were my go-to running brand. I've run in many Triumphs and Ride. I've run in many Saucony. For some reason, their fit is perfect for my feet. They fit me really well, and they never give me blister, which is an issue on other brands. Also, the Endorphin line for me has been the first line of super shoes that I've ever tried. I did not jump on the bandwagon on the Vaporfly as soon as it came out. I waited a little bit, and as soon as Saucony came in with the Endorphin line, I got the Speed and the Shift right away. I did not enjoy the Shift that much, but the Speed was by far my favorite shoes in the first, second, and third iteration. So the first two iterations of the Speed, they were really raw, they were really fast, but there was a bit of roughness on the edges. The 3 now, the Speed 3 for me was one of the best shoes out there. The roughness was mellowed down with a little softer foam. And in my opinion, that shoe is still one of the best shoes for tempo and for slower runners to race in. It was just fantastic. Now last year, the 4 came out, and the initial reviews from the usual influencer that get paid to say good things about shoes is, yeah, it's great, it's as good as the 3, just better. Then I got them on, and honestly, the 4 was a big miss for me. The Speed 4, even on paper, went from a durometer, run repeat, measures all the softness of the midsole, and they went from a 13 durometer to a 21 durometer. That did not make any sense to me for an evolution of a shoe that's supposed to be the same as the previous year, or maybe slightly better than the previous year. You do not increase the stiffness or the firmness of the foam by 8 points. I mean, it's almost twice as much. And you could immediately feeling. I ran my New York City Marathon in the Speed 3. In fact, I still have them right here. Which is pretty rare for me. I never wear shoes all the way till the end. This one, even a piece of outsole came out. So I ran those until the end, and they were fantastic for me, at least at my slow pace. And the 4 came out. It was a big disappointment for me. It was a huge disappointment. It's not just about the firmness of the shoe. The upper was also pretty bad. They've also added a flare to the back of the shoe. If you compare this is the 5, it's not the 4. I don't have the 4 anymore. This is the 3. You can see even here the flare. The flare in the midsole down here at the end is pronounced here. It was even more pronounced in the 4. That was also another mistake. And the upper was really terrible. It was baggy. Was not conforming to my feet at all, while the 3 was just perfect, not too big, not too small. So the 4 for me was a big letdown, big disappointment. Yes, it went back to the 1 and the 2, which were a little firmer, but really, while I was able to run a marathon in the 3, in the 4 I struggled to run a half marathon. The firmness being one of it, but not necessarily just the firmness of the midsole. Again, I like firm midsole. I like Adidas Light Strike Pro. I like Puma Deviate Elite. Those are not soft midsole. So I really like and enjoy firmer midsole, but the 4 was a big letdown for me. Now the 5 just came out, and the review said that it's kind of a hybrid between the 3 and the 4. So I had to jump in. It's my favorite tempo trainer in the past 5 years. Actually 4, removed the previous model. So I had to jump in, see if the things improved. And I have to say, this review is going to be bittersweet, but things have improved, okay? Here's why it's going to be bittersweet. As usual, I'm gonna try to stay unbiased, and then I'm gonna give you my full bias. All right, so the unbiased part of this review, I've run almost 100 miles in these. Now, granted, as you see, not much wear down here because I've ran indoor. It's August in Florida. It's really, really hot. So I run indoor. However, I've run a couple of times outside just to confirm my impressions. And I at this point, I think I have a pretty good grasp of what this shoe is. Now, this shoe it's true. It's in between the 3 and the 4. And it's much improved over the 4. However, I still have my reservation on it. So the unbiased part, this is a PB midsole, very good PB midsole. It's one of those pellet PB. It's the usual pellet PB that Saucony use in most of their super shoes. They call it PWRRUN PB. I think it's down here at the bottom, PWRRRUN PB. It's very good in energy return. Now, in terms of firmness, they softened this up compared to the 4. I think right now at durometer, this should be about 18 or so. It's still firmer than the 3, which is okay. This is a tempo shoe, so it's okay. I still prefer the 3 because I think it was more a jack of all trades. You could run slow in it. This one is still a fast machine, but it's not as bad as the 4. The upper is much better than the 4. Now it conforms to my feet really well. The material is basically inexistent. It's very ventilated. It's reasonably soft. I really like this material. It's one of the best material in an upper that I've seen in a while. There's only one problem with the upper. It's not a major problem, but the heel here, you see how it beaks up, and you see the shape is very V-shaped. If you compare it to the 3, the 3 was very much U-shaped. This one is V-shaped. So depending on your shape of the heel, it might not be as comfortable as the 3 was. For me, for sure, this is the case. This one is comfortable, but my heel is slipping here. I have to tighten the shoes much more than what happened with the 3. Not a big issue, but then again, they changed the shape here. So again, unbiased opinion, they changed the shape. For some people it might work, for some people it might not. For me, it didn't really work, but this is my bias. If you want to be completely unbiased, they just changed it. I just have to point that out. They've also changed the shape of the plate, which now peaks here at the side. Honestly, I don't really feel any major change in terms of the geometry of the plate. I think it's a little wider here in the midfoot, but I don't really feel any major difference in terms of stability. It just feels all right, feels good. Now again, the softness of the shoe is still there. It's not a carbon plate, so this is a mild nylon plate that is perfect for training. It's perfect for racing if you're on the heavier side. It's just a good tempo trainer. Now here's the bias, okay? The unbiased part, this is what you expect from the Speed, okay? This is what you expect. It's a good shoe. Here's the bias part. Now this shoe got much more expensive. In just a couple of years, we went from, I believe, 160 to 175. However, if you look at the midsole, this is exactly the same midsole as the Speed one. This is the same material. It's PWRRUN PB. It's the PB, pellet PB, as I said before. It is a good material, yes. It's good energy return, but after 5 years, it starts to get a little dated. We have newer iterations of materials that are available. I'm thinking at the ATPU that Puma has, and I'm thinking at Lightstrike Pro, which in the meantime has gone through 3 or 4 iterations. I'm thinking at all the supercritical foams, which in my opinion are better than this, including supercritical EVA. It's definitely not better in terms of energy returns, but it feels better underfoot. And we've had all the iteration of PBA, including the supercritical PBA. Now, Nike had the Zoom X PBA, which was produced by Arkema, which was the biggest producer of PBA out there. Still preparing the video on the deep dive on the chemistry of superfoam. But Nike has an exclusivity agreement with Arkema, and their PBA is not supercritical, but it is, in my opinion, superior to the pellet PBA that you see here. Now, Salomon also uses this PBA, Tear uses this PBA, Topo uses this PBA. Saucony is not the only one that uses this pellet PBA. It is not a bad material. It is not a bad material whatsoever. In my opinion, after 5 years, especially considering the $15 increase in price, it would have benefited from a improvement in the foam. Okay, so unfortunately, Saucony has better foam, but they reserve it to the Pro, they reserve it to the Elite, and the Speed kept the same PBA foam. If you like consistency, that's fine. If you like newer trends, if you like to stay on top of the technology, I'm not so sure about this. Okay, now ZoomX, as I said, they tune it down really well, and that PBA, even if it's old, it's not super critical, it's still a great material in my opinion. It's superior to this. My own bias, okay? Some people don't agree with me, that's okay. My own bias is that ZoomX is always superior to the pellet PBA. It really feels like a supercritical one. This one is getting dated. Now, objectively, the data, if you look at Run Repeat, they also have the energy returns right now. The energy returns of this material is great. Okay, so objectively, the data tells us that the material is really good. The sensation, the feeling that I have, my personal bias says, not so much. And I'm not gonna pay $15 more than the 3 when the material is exactly the same. It's a little firmer, but there's no new technology in there. So I'm really questioning the strategy from Saucony going forward. I have a couple of other brands that have super trainer out there. They have tempo shoes out there that are now competing with this. This was the king all the way up until Speed 3. And then Nike came out with the Zoom Fly 6, which I think it's better than this shoe. It's a little softer, which allows slower paces, allows me to go all the way to the marathon. This one, I won't bring in all the way to a marathon. I would do definitely a half on it, but no more than that. And the Zoom X in the Nike shoes, it's better, in my opinion. For me, it's better than this PBA here. It also costs $15 less because it's $160. Adidas has the Boston 13 and the Evo SL, which are plated versus non-plated, but they are in the same category as this shoe. They are fast, tempo trainer. The Evo SL is even, in my opinion, a little bit more expanded because it's softer. Probably not too much softer, but it is plateless. It doesn't have a plate, and you can run slower paces in the Evo SL, or at least I can. While for this one, I will keep it more on the tempo up. Evo SL is 150, Boston is 160. So this is 175. There's other brands that have super trainer. New Balance has super trainers. I did not try the SC trainer or the SC Pacers in New Balance, but they are also roughly on the same page as this. Hoka has a super trainer. I believe that Saucony needs to catch up if they want to stay on top. They used to be on top, for me at least, in terms of material, in terms of chemistry of the foams down here. They fall behind with this. And at this point, I cannot justify the $175 that these shoes cost. They are going the direction of premium shoe with the Endorphin line. They're going the direction of the Nike Plus, or they're going the direction of the, or maybe Hoka or Brooks. Those are also brands that have very good shoes, but a little more expensive than the other shoes. And I'm always up for value, and I cannot justify the value of these. Oh, another tempo trainer that is really good is the Puma Deviate Nitro 3, and I'm looking forward to see what happens with the Nitro 4, the Deviate Nitro 4. The Puma always brings up newer technology, newer phones. Saucony is 5 years of this one, a little more than 5 years, it was announced 6 years ago. And we still have the same phone, and we still have the same geometry. It's objectively good. Can it be better? Yes, in my opinion, it can, and it should be better. Now, the usual stats, this is legal in terms of being under 40 here in the heel. I believe it's 36.28. I'm not big on numbers. This is a good shoe. It's a tempo trainer. It's no longer the jack of all trades that the Speed 3 was. It's a tempo shoe. It's still the best in the Endorphin line, unfortunately. In my opinion, this is the best Endorphin shoe out there. There's the trainer now, which is unrunnable for me. It has that super soft, too soft layer of, how do they call it, the new foam InfiniRun, something like that. And then one of the harshest and firmest EVA foam at the bottom, and the carbon plate. So that one was supposed to be slower than this. It's a trainer, so it's supposed to have more of an expanded range, but it has a carbon plate. This one is supposed to be faster, and it is faster. It's lighter, but it has a nylon plate. I don't get it. The Pro is still stuck to the previous generation, the 4. And same problem as the Speed 4 for me. The Pro 4 was much worse than the Pro 3. And then the Elite is one of the softest, most unstable and awkwardest racing shoes out there. It's very good if you have good running form, if you're an elite athlete. But for everyday runners, the Elite is out of the league. It's out of discussion. And it's $275. Again, compared to the Adios Pro 4, which is $250, I believe, or even $225, I forgot the exact price. There's no value there. So every single Endorphin shoe has a competitor that is better value, better priced, and that is, in my opinion, biased opinion, it is better than the Endorphin. And it's really sad. Like I said in the beginning, this review is going to be bittersweet for me because I love Saucony, I love the Endorphin line. It was my first line of super shoes. It was great when it came out. At this point in 2025, after 5 years of Endorphin line, the technology is stuck at 5 years ago. Other brands have improved their technology and surpassed Saucony, and Saucony has increased in price, as you would expect with all these problems with inflation and tariffs. I'm not gonna go there, I don't care. The raw fact, the prices in the Endorphin line at this point are crazy. $175, it's the cheapest Endorphin. Then you got $200 for the trainer, which is unrunnable for me. And then the Pro, $225 or $240, I believe. And then the Elite, $275. For every single one of these shoes, I can find a competitor, and I'm thinking Adidas, I'm thinking Puma, that has a better shoe at a lower price point. And this is a little sad. So yeah, this is a good shoe, objectively a good shoe. You're not going to get disappointed by this one. It's much better than the 4. They resolved the issue that they brought themselves up with the 4. Will I keep this? No, this is gonna be sold by me really soon because I have better shoes. Honestly, I have better shoes and I'm enjoying more even for tempo runs. This is not it. This is not it. And I'm sad because, like I said, if you compare these two, the Speed 3 to the Speed 5, this one was my favorite shoe for many years. This one is not as bad as the 4. The 4 was in the bin right away. This one I ran 100 miles on it. It's not bad. My personal bias tells me that with this cost, there is no longer the value and the technology that the Endorphin line brought to the market. All right, see you at the next review.